love this idea from Kyle Cease. He's looking at everything and showing us how people are a little more awake than we might think they are.
We have been tricked into thinking that the public is not awake. That's the thing that the TV is showing you, that you're seeing an unawake public through the TV. But if we had a pie chart, just a small slice of the pie chart is not awake. I would put most people right now in the public in a bizarre in between an unawake world and a massive awake world. And they're kind of 1 foot in both worlds. Like they might peak at CNN every once in a while at the same time moving towards a higher frequency. If you think you're alone in this world of you're this kind of vibrational person and the world is not getting you and people don't understand it, you're wrong. You're just looking in the wrong places, and you're looking through lenses that are creating a matrix to you that says that that the world is not waking up. The world is waking up dramatically.
What we're seeing right now is just a breakdown of all the usual constructs, and people are freaking out because it's like, oh my God, it's going down, and we're not having the normal that we used to have. But what's happening, of course, is this exposure of all the constructs that have kept us down, and they're all being eliminated. The problem is that some people are thinking that means the Great Reset and even more control than before, but it doesn't have to be that way. The more I think we come together as a community of people, pockets here and there, and really intentionally decide what we want to do next on an individual basis, that I think drives the whole thing forward, because what we do individually is often what feeds the collective. Of course, that has to get to a certain tipping point where that's going to happen. And so that's where, connecting with other people and really kind of helping each other walk through this so that we're not all dependent on these corporations or government to make things happen. But we take back the control and we eliminate a lot of the technology that keeps us under their thumb. But I think also is how Max Igan kind of reminds us that it's not about those big sweeping things. It's little things.
And you understand it's all about how you interact with what you would perceive to be the most mundane of things. But they're not, because every one of them is a life of its own. If you can just realize that, you can change the way your life is. And if you throw yourself to the wind, you can ride it. You've just got to listen to what the wind is telling you.
And really, when we get to the little things and they compound, for example, unplugging for an extended period of time and then gradually increasing that, when you have that time away, you realize a lot of things you wouldn't if technology is always in your hand in terms of a phone or anything else. So it's taking that time away from technology, and really, I think, for me anyway, it's being in nature a bit. And it's there in that silence when you can hear a bit more, or as Max Igan says, listen more.
A project is anything that happens when you get up and open your eyes and walk out the door. Anything you're doing, this is a project that you're embarking upon, and it has its own life. So listen to it. Listen to it. There's this communication going on all the time, but we're not listening. Most people simply aren't listening to the field. They're not listening to their intuition.
It's in that listening that we become more human. And I think on our path to get there is this progression towards intuition, towards a deeper sense of self and why we're here. And Max Igan keeps pointing us in these directions, and there's many others. For example, with Lynette Zhang, who reminds us, even though we need the wealth and the security and all the other things to get through an apocalypse, the number one thing she says that we need is community.
Community and shelter. You have to be prepared to be as independent and self-sufficient as possible. Of all those things that I've listed, community is probably the single most important one.
Now, if you're interested in community, I'm starting a little online community, and there's a link in the description to that. So if you're interested in joining and kind of powwowing amongst each other, group is going to be small, so, that means it's intimate. Anyway, check that in the description, and I'll talk to you soon. One stat said that if you have at least 100 people banded together, you're more likely to survive a dastardly a disaster or a serious event that affects the globe. Now, if you found this helpful, be sure to give it a like. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.